evening. Welcome to Ubuntu channel. This is Ubuntu Sports on Ubuntu channel. We come live every Friday, 21 hours, to talk about sports, not just in Zambia but in the world. And today we've got an interesting topic. Now, Lawrence, we are live on Facebook, we are live on Twitter, and we are also live on YouTube. If you're joining us for the first time, please don't forget to like our page, to follow us on Twitter, and also to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that every time when we are live, you have a notification. Good evening, Lawrence, and welcome to Ubuntu Sports.
Thank you so much, Reuben, and hope you are fine yourself.
I am. Good to see you. How has been
Thank
your
you.
week?
Thank you. My week has been awesome. Can't complain. Hope you also had a terrific week.
Indeed. Now, Lawrence, today on Ubuntu Sports, we've got an interesting topic, football transfer news. We're not talking about the local transfer news, but the international. But next week, we'll come with the local transfer news. But before we do that, Lawrence, July is a busy month. July is a busy month. There's almost 3 tournaments actually happening in July. The Women's Africa Cup of Nations, we've got COSAFA, we've got Chan International Tournament also taking place next month. Now, let's start with the women's. The women, they are in Morocco. They had a friendly match with Morocco, which we beamed live last week on Friday. How was the match for you? How was the friendly match between Morocco and Zambia?
Actually, the match was a good test for the team to see how ready they are for the Africa Cup of Nations, and I was impressed with the performance. I was impressed with the mental strength of the team, and I was also impressed with the fact that we put up a good fight against a spirited Morocco side, and we also showed the resilience and mental toughness, I should say, in these preparations. And I hope we carry that going into the tournament, and hope that we can come out as achievers out of the tournament.
Are you satisfied that we've been in Morocco for 2 weeks and we've only played one friendly game?
I think one friendly game was okay for me. Is okay for me because what we are looking at is the team getting acquainted with the atmosphere, the weather conditions there, and everything else, the surroundings in Morocco, and which I think 2 weeks is a good enough time for the team to do just that. And the match that we played was against the hosts, and we played them in their own backyard and put up that kind of a fight. I think for me, I'm okay and impressed. Let's also note that if we put our team into so much strenuous friendlies, which actually add nothing to the team, to be honest, apart from just testing ourselves against other sides on how ready we are. Other than that, I think we should avoid risking injuries and fatigue in the team. So I think the friendly we played, for me, is enough for now, and we should prepare and look at what we can do going into the tournament. As things stand, I'm very much satisfied, and I hope the training conditions there are great. I've seen the team train on a number of videos, and I think the spirit is also high. That is what is important for me.
All right, let's shift to the COSAFA Castle Cup. This tournament has been there for a long time, but now it seems like the standards are not up to where we want them to be, Lawrence. Today, the national team coach Asanovic named his lineup, his squad for the tournament. What do you expect for Zambia in terms of the COSAFA Castle Cup?
I think for all countries participating in the COSAFA tournament, expectations are not so high, because I think over the years the prestige of the tournament has really gone down. many factors have alluded to that, but I think the main one is the fact that probably the participation money is not as much as it should be. Let me put it that way, because let's face it, countries and teams spend a lot of money in preparations for such tournaments, paying players, especially expatriate players, and looking at the period we have decided to put the COSAFA tournament, especially this year, where we have a very crazy calendar for football because of the World Cup that has been moved from June as normal to November, December, meaning that we have an extra load for players, and therefore having a tournament like this one at this point in time automatically rules out all the international players from the tournament, because they have to rest as the season is coming back as soon as possible, and only looking at an early start to the season, early August we should have the start to the season, and we only have June for the players to rest, and a few weeks in July where we can see that the team already is we can see that the players already have not enough time to rest. So the COSAFA itself looks like it has to undergo a lot of changes, and probably a pump of cash, so that we can see team field in the best players, so that we can bring back the glory days of the COSAFA tournament. But as things stand, expectations for most of the teams are not as much, and we should not expect. We should not have expected a lucrative Zambia side to go and represent Zambia. But as things stand, I think the coach had to pick what he had to pick, and he has done just that. And I don't think it's a bad selection. I just hope that he will give us a good mix of everything that is going on. Otherwise, we hope for the best as well in the COSAFA tournament, and we wish the players that have been picked all the best, and hope they put in their effort, and hope they can bring back the glory to the country.
All right. Now, Lawrence, I saw an interesting comment from one of our viewers, Pamford. Moderator, if you can bring that comment before we start talking about the transfers. Okay, there we have it. The fighting spirit is there in the Shpolopolo, but a concern is on the link between the defenders and the midfielders. When Lushomo couldn't play the ball in the midfield, but once they get chance, their target was the front, and the balls were dropping on the opponents, hence making the midfield and the strikers tired. Hope this gets somewhere so they can work on it. Do you agree with Jeremiah?
I do agree. I do agree with Jeremiah. Thank you so much for that comment. But I think let's also try to see how best we can blend in our team. We should understand that sometimes the pressure is so much when it comes to defenders, such that when they try to play out from the back and things are not happening in midfield, it tends to overload the defense, and as a result, defenders always tend to look for a quick fix, and the quick fix is booting the balls right in front. But unfortunately, I think what I've noticed is that most of our players, the height is not so much in our favor, and I think that is where we are going to suffer if we're going to play those kinds of long balls to the front in this tournament, especially if we are playing the West Africans, who seem to be taller than us in most cases. So we should try and find a link how we can play the Zambian way. And I know the Zambian way of football is playing actually with the ball down and not hoofing it forward, which in most cases doesn't work for us. So I hope the technical bench has taken note of such issues and working on them in training, because that is where everything happens. So we hope that the training sessions there are looking at how we can cure that, or probably I should say in the friendlies, I think some of our best players did not play. I hope that probably they could also bring in and come up with a solution to such issues. But all in all, the resilience was there, and that is what I was so much impressed about. You know, it's not easy going down to an Arab team. We see this from our from our male national team. When they go down to Arabs, usually it is very difficult for them to come back. But this female team actually showed it that it is possible and it is doable, and that is what impressed me the most. So we can build on our positives and see how we can strengthen and progress as a team. Remember, this is the team that went to the to the Olympics and yeah, didn't perform so much, but I think we put up a good fight there. So I'm hoping that we have learned some lessons from that. But I also have had issues in the from the time the squad was announced about some players that I thought would make it automatically being left out. The coach knows better, I should put it that way. So we hope for the best at the end of the day. I think I can't hear you, Ruben.
All right. I was saying, indeed, we hope for the best, Lawrence. And surprising enough is that the tournament is just starting next week on the second, and the second will be Saturday. Actually, next week Saturday. That's when the Women's Africa Cup of Nations will kick off in Morocco, and Zambia will be playing on Sunday. So keep your eyes on that tournament, and we hope for the best because we want the girls to qualify to the World Cup. Lawrence,
I,
let's
I
dive
can
into the.
encourage I can encourage the viewers to continue monitoring Ubuntu page for for the updates on the tournament, and we shall try our level best to deliver the updates as much as possible so that everybody is in the know.
Thanks for that, Lawrence. Shall we go into today's topic? Shall we? We're talking about the football transfer news, and we're doing the international news, Lawrence. Uh, Take us through, Lawrence. Which one is the first on our transfer news?
First and foremost, I think make mention that going into these transfer windows, there was a lot of expectations from a lot from clubs and teams that didn't seem to perform exceptionally last season. Make mention Manchester United, Arsenal, and of course Tottenham have also come to the fore, and we expected a lot of movements in those lines, but there's been a little bit of disappointment, especially from Manchester United fans, by the fact that there seems to be zero movement in the team as things stand right now. But that has not put the transfer market on hold. And interestingly, we'll start with our very own Chipolopolo centre back, Frankie Msonda. Now, interestingly, we are seeing movement of Frank Musonda from Rice Rovers to Ayr United, where he's been signed and was announced just 2 days ago as their new player on a 2 years deal. Now, Frankie has been with Rice Rovers for 2 years since 2020, and is leaving there after having made 40 appearances for them, and in the process managed to score 3 goals for Rice Rovers, which is a good return for a centre back, I should say. And all we can do is, as our compatriot, our fellow Zambian, is wish him the best in his new challenge, his new club, and we hope that this time around he nails his place in the team, and mentally, physically, and emotionally prepare himself from there to represent this country. This, to me, is one of the most interesting transfers so far in this transfer window, and it's the transfer that actually makes me smile, because I think Frankie became a little bit stagnant with Rice Rovers because he couldn't nail down an automatic starting place in the team, and I hope he does that with his new club, which is Ayr United in Scotland.
Okay, let's also confirm, Lawrence, that Ayr United is a Scottish team. So it will be based in Scotland and will be playing not the first division, but the second division, the Scottish Champions League, the Scottish League. All right, Lawrence. I'm having some feedback. Is it from my end?
I'm able to hear you, but I'm getting some feedback.
All right, let's go to the second transfer news, Lawrence. What's happening with Kings Kangwa? He scored a second goal for us when we were playing at Hero Stadium against Kings Kangwa. When he scored a beautiful free kick when he was playing for the national team at Hero Stadium. What's the news on Kings Kangwa, Lawrence?
Okay. I can confirm that Klings Kangwa is leaving his Russian-based side Arsenal Tula, who were relegated last season, by the way, after having finished 16th in the league, and he's joining Crvena Zvezda right now, and it's a great challenge for him, I should put it that way, and one thing I think of conversation is where I was seeing a lot of comments online where some of our Zambians were castigating Klings for having dodged the team that he was with last season because they got relegated. But it's a normal thing. I think Klings is a top player, and as a country, we want him to play at the highest level possible. And him being relegated in Russia did not sit well with me, especially that he's one of our first choice players for the national team. So at this point in time, I'm happy that he has taken the move. And the team that he has joined actually is one of the best performers. If I'm not mistaken, I would hope to see him in the Europa League, the Europa or Conference League, representing Crvena Zvezda, and hopefully this move also works out for him, because I think Arsenal Tula have kind of done a lot for the development of Klings. Remember, after he scored that free kick for us when we were playing last time as a country, videos emerged of him training with his teammates having a training and taking free kicks, and one of the free kicks that he took in training is the one that he actually used, the technique that he used to score for us, which brings joy to the country. So we hope that going forward he settles well in his new team, and also learns something new that he can come and showcase also for us as a country in our national colors.
All right, so the things and Kangwa will be based in Serbia, because that team, Lawrence, is a Serbian team, and for me, I'm happy for him because Red Star is a big club, Lawrence, that has won the Champions League before. And this is a team that also plays the Champions League. So how big is it for us to see a Zambian player playing in the Champions League, Laura?
It's something that we have always dreamt of. I think the only thing we had last season, we saw Fashion Sakala and Patson Daka play in the Europa League, and it's as far as we have gotten as a country, sending our representatives to the biggest stage and in world football. And if we can see Klings play at the Champions League level, I think that would be a very big boost for himself and for the country as well. And I think everybody will want to know, especially if he performs the way Patson Daka did when he was introduced to the Europa League and scored 4 goals in one game. Everybody was asking, where is this boy from? And the answer was simple: from Zambia. And that is what we want Cleans as well to do for that, for us. We want Zambia to be known. We want Zambian players to be there. And if you see, if the current crop of players that we have perform so exceptionally at that level, it will open doors for even the players that are coming up in their backs, because everybody will feel Zambia is a hub of talent, which I think we have been over the years. Unfortunately, it's hard for me to comprehend how come we've never had players play at the highest level, because we have produced quite great players in history. And it's time we took a step further and saw our representatives perform just at the level that you want them to be. That is what we want to see.
All right. Do you think that free kick that is scored against Comoros at Hero Stadium helped market his skills?
It could have, but I think overall the performance at club level for his team, for Arsenal Tula in the previous season, should be a reason to market himself. You see, sometimes a moment of brilliance comes to even not so good players. There is that moment of brilliance that they can show, and that moment of brilliance he gave us against Comoros is something that we cannot give credit to alone, and specifically as a reason why he's making such a big move. But I think it comes up with his hard work, his consistency at Arsenal Tula, and also his perseverance in the trying moments of Arsenal Tula. So I'm happy, and I'm hoping that he continues to work extra hard and put himself together. Because quoting from the words of Cristiano Ronaldo, he said a few weeks ago, he was reminding other players that talent alone without the hard work is nothing. And that is what I would love Clings to also bear in mind. Talent alone is nothing unless you combine it with hard work. Then it will take you places.
All right. Another surprising transfer news, Lawrence. I never saw this coming. The time I was watching the Champions League final, he played very well. He had some chances. He almost scored, but Courtois on that day was outstanding. I'm talking about Sadio Mane. When he was playing for Liverpool, he gave everything, and I never thought I would see Sadio Mane moving to Bayern Munich. It's a surprising news. Lawrence, what's the latest on Sadio Mane?
We can confirm that Sadio Mane has joined Bayern Munich from Liverpool in a deal worth £34 million, and also probably with some add-ons that might push it to around £42 million. Now, there has been a lot of questions as to why this has happened so fast, and today I was reading articles where some soccer pundits are actually suspecting that he felt he was underappreciated at Liverpool for some time, and also the fact that the Liverpool coach Jurgen Klopp had belittled the Africa Cup of Nations the time he was going to represent Senegal, and that didn't sit down with him. That didn't sit well with him at that point, but he maintained his professionalism throughout the remainder of the season from those incidents, and has played to the best of his ability. And as things stand, Bayern Munich have rushed onto him. Now, it's interesting to note that Bayern Munich themselves are facing a tough time and trying to convince their talisman, Robert Lewandowski, to stay. And it looks like Bayern Munich were trying to fix and prepare the possibility of losing their top scorer in the last 5 seasons. and he is uh, he's just made it clear that he wants to leave, and preferred destination is Barcelona FC in Spain, who interestingly are cash strapped right now, and it's very difficult. It's very difficult to tell how this transfer whirlwind would, which direction it will take, because as things stand, uh, Lewandowski has made it clear he wants to go. He has said this on several occasions and explicitly said it, I should say. So Bayern Munich have taken a step in mitigating the departure by bringing in Sadio Mane. And also interesting enough is that Sadio Mane, in his farewell speech, did not at all try to belittle anything or and maybe offend the Liverpool hierarchies or here or there. All he did was thank them, and he said he has won everything he could ever win at a club at Liverpool, and as such, he wants a new challenge. Those were his words. So take note that earlier on, what I said were merely speculations from soccer pundits who feel that he felt offended by the comments of his coach. So it's a done deal, I should say, and we saw him wearing Bayern Munich colors. Anyway, I think there's not much of a change because he was red Liverpool and now he is red Bayern in Germany. So that is what has happened as far as Sadio Mane is concerned.
Uh, all right. Before we move on Sadio Mane, he was one of the lowest paid at Liverpool, and now he'll be getting a 250,000 pounds per week, Lawrence. That's a great, great, great move.
From earlier on, I mentioned that he felt underappreciated by Liverpool. When we say underappreciated, it is one of the ways we are talking about financial remuneration, and uh, £100,000 for a player of Mane's caliber, and looking at what he has done for the team. And if you can compare the wages of players at Liverpool who are just seated on the bench, like Chamberlain, who is actually raking in about £160,000 a week, and you wonder where the focus of the Liverpool hierarchies were. I think they seemed to have neglected a player who has given them so much return, and focused much of their praises on players like Van Dijk and Mo Salah. Yeah, I should say he has been mentioned here and there to say he's done well, he's played well, but to put him in that bracket where he is remembered even when he doesn't score, and someone says we have a great player in Sadio Mane, I think Liverpool have not done that enough. So it is, I think, a lesson to other clubs to know that players at some point know their way. To some extent, they know their worth and what they stand for. And in this instance, Sadio Mane seems to have reacted to that and said, well, it's better I go to a place where I feel I'll be more appreciated. And like here, I can feel the love. I can't feel the love enough. So I think from what we are hearing, the data we are receiving is that is where the problem came in. But we wish Sadio Mane all the best because he is an African and one of our own at the end of the day. And you see, we just love, we just love Africans excelling everywhere in the world. That is what Africans love.
All right. If you're joining us, you're watching Ubuntu Sports. If you have a contribution concerning all the transfers that are happening, you can type your contribution in the comments later on. We'll share with you the link so that you can come in the studio and share with us what you think about the international transfers. So far, we've covered Frank Musonda, who has moved to AYR, that is in Scotland. Then we've talked about Queens Kangwa, who has moved to Red Star. And then now we've talked about Sadio Mane. Lawrence, there's a comment here that I want us to discuss on, and it's coming from Pacey. He's saying Liverpool don't like giving new contracts to over 30. So his point is Liverpool. Yeah, that's the comment. Liverpool don't like giving new contracts to over 30. I'm sure he's saying when you cross or you reach 30, Liverpool is not interested in you anymore.
At the end of the day, I've seen players play at Liverpool even into their 35, 36 years of age. And it's because those players who have done that were players the club appreciated. I can give examples of Jamie Carragher's or the Steven Gerrards of this world. It's all about a player they want to keep. That's where it comes from. And Mane felt he wasn't really appreciated. Now, at the end of the day, there is no team that would keep players under 30 alone, because it's practically difficult to maintain a young squad all the time. There has to be a passage of players being phased out. Players are growing out, are growing old, others are coming in, so that we can blend in at some point and then impart the traditions of the club. You impart the vision of the club. You impart the culture of the club. Everything into the next team that is going to come. And it's just difficult for any team to have only under 30 players. I can't think of a team which has that, which is like that at this point in time in the English Premier League, or worse off in the Italian Serie A, where most of the over 30 players are playing actually. But what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, it comes to the love that the club feels on an individual player. And should we say Mane was not that much loved? Probably he felt in those lines, and he went out to look for a new challenge, and Bayern Munich have snatched up the deal. But it's a big loss for Liverpool, I should say. Though I'm happy that it's like they had already planned for this, because because I look at Luis, their signing in January, has done exceptionally well and can take up the role on the left side of their attack, where Mane has always been. So I think Liverpool will feel the effects, but not that much, because I think the position has already been claimed by someone else.
All right, thank you very much. So you said Luis Diaz can take up Sadio Mane's shoes. Now let's turn it to Sadio Mane. Can Sadio Mane take up Lewandowski's shoes if Lewandowski was to leave Bayern Munich?
I think that would be difficult. There's just one Lewandowski in this world. Hey, that guy is a goal poacher. In the brackets of the Cristiano Ronaldos of this world, the Brazilian Ronaldos of this world, and that is where I place Lewandowski in. Those are the brackets I place him in. But all in all, what I'm trying to say is that it will be difficult if Bayern Munich are looking at Sadio Mane as a direct replacement for Lewandowski. I think they've got it wrong on that one.
All right, thank you very much.
I can say Mane will give you the work on the wing. Mane will give you the assist. Mane will run around and fight for the ball, which Lewandowski is not interested in. Lewandowski will give you the goals, and that's what he's all about. The guy can score. He's scored a brace. A hat trick in as little as 5 minutes before. That's just how good that guy is.
All right, thank you very much, Lawrence. Let's move on to Manchester City, the team which is very busy in the market. They've already signed Haaland, and now they're talking to Calvin Phillips. Lawrence.
Interestingly, Calvin Phillips was a transfer target for Manchester United before, and Leeds have been courting Calvin Phillips to Manchester United for a fee of around 80 million pounds, and then Man City strikes is said to have gotten a deal of about 45 million pounds, which is almost half of what they wanted from Manchester United. And interestingly, Man City have moved swiftly and decisively to secure the deal. So as things stand, we are hearing that a deal has been agreed in principle, subject to a medical, which will be done soon. So as things stand, Calvin Phillips is on his way to the Etihad, the home of the champions. It's a big congratulations to him. Looking at the fact that he has played for his boyhood club, Leeds United, all his life, and this time around looks to make a difference somewhere else. Now, what is interesting in this deal is that Manchester City are actually looking to replace the departing Fernandinho, who was their rock solid defensive midfielder over the years, whom they have deployed also in various positions, especially in the latter games of the Champions League. So it's interesting enough to see how Calvin Phillips will fill in the shoes of Fernandinho going forward. But good business for Manchester City. Hey,
Do you think they can partner with Haaland? Can the partnership work with Haaland?
I can't say really a partnership between Calvin Phillips and Haaland, because I think Phillips is a deep lying defensive midfielder and Haaland is a goal poacher similarly, and I actually don't see much of assets from Calvin Phillips. I don't see that much from him, even as he plays for Leeds. So the only thing I'm hoping to see is how he was going to shield the Manchester City back for whenever he plays. Because remember, we are looking at a Manchester City side that last season struck a deal with Aston Villa for 100 million pounds for Jack Grealish, and so far hasn't worked out so perfectly, as I should put it, because it's like we are seeing a different Jack Grealish from the one we used to see at Aston Villa. So a partnership between Calvin Phillips and Haaland, I don't expect much of that combination anyway. So because I think their roles would differ in execution. One has to shoot the back four, one has to score goals. So let's see how it works anyway.
All right. Thank you for joining us. To our viewers, make sure you share this broadcast. If it's your first time watching us, make sure you like the page. Or if you're watching us from the YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Now, Lawrence, Man City is a team that is not lazy in terms of signing. Do you think they will still recruit, or maybe Phillips is the last player that they're signing this window?
From the rumors that we have gathered around, we have Barcelona who are eyeing for Bernardo Silva, and we also have Arsenal who are eyeing for Gabriel Jesus. So in this vein, if these two players or any one of them is taken away, I expect Man City to dig into the transfer market and try to replace the player, any of those two, if they go. Now, interesting enough is that Pep Guardiola is not one of a coach to give out much in terms of transfer plan, but we understand that he has promised Bernardo Silva to say that he is going to allow him to go for the right price. Now, there is a lot that is interesting me especially on the issue of Bernardo Silva here. We are again looking at a Barcelona side who are really deep in the financial crisis. So rumors are that Barcelona are interested in having Bernardo Silva and Robert Lewandowski. Now, how they're going to finance those deals is very difficult to come by. But from simple analysis, you discover that actually Barcelona is in talks with Manchester United for the sale of Frankie de Jong, and so far a deal has not been put in place, and negotiations have been ongoing of late. And the deal
Is,
is said to
is,
be
is,
somewhere.
is it is it true that Pogba, Maguire was included in the deal for Dion, and Barcelona, and Barcelona rejected Maguire, opting for the money?
It's actually a joke, and the joke has really sold out. But truth be told, Maguire was not included in the deal, and Maguire will be, I can confirm, will be at Manchester United next season. He's not going anywhere. There have not been discussions of possibilities of selling him as things stand right now. So Harry Maguire will be at Manchester United next season and is not going anywhere. The only change that we expect to see in terms of Harry Maguire is probably he may not be captain next season, as names of Cristiano Ronaldo and David De Gea are being flaunted to the coach, and we hope that speaking from a Manchester United point of view, there is so much hope that he is relieved of those duties, because as a leader he has failed to lead by example. But I will say Harry Maguire will be at Manchester United next season. No two ways about it.
All right. Do you have anyone in the waiting room? All right. We have Pacey Lawrence. Good evening, Pacey. Welcome to Ubuntu Sports. Hi, Pacey. Are you there?
Yes, sorry, I was having problems connecting. Okay. Yes. Anyway, there are the only thing okay, there are a few things I kind of agree a lot. I'll start with first one, the Zambian who you say has been red star red. Honestly speaking, personally, I'm not happy. The reason I say that is that league, where Red Star Belgrade, the second league is even stronger than that league. For a start, yeah, that club, it was strong. It was strong when it was when ran them lot the Soviet Union. Yes, that time strong. Now, if you see where club, the country, the population, then you understand what I'm talking about. Personally, I would have preferred him to play in Scotland, Belgium, or Holland, because at the moment with the embargo, Russian Football Association, that league is going down. You have to bear that in mind. They have Europa, Champions League, not even international games. They've been part of everything. So you have to put into perspective all those things. Yes, it was good. He's left. He's going for Red Belgrade. Yeah, to be honest, they play in the Champions League, and in most cases they qualify. So if they don't qualify, they will find themselves in Europa or something. Yes, you are right on there. But the quality of ball, it's down in that of the world. It's no longer the way it was the Russia and them lot. It's no longer that. That's the first one. The second one, talk about. He's my favorite player. What I can tell you is Liverpool, you gave an example, Carragher and Gerrard. I can give you a lot of names. But one thing missed was the management changed. New management. And that management, the style, the way they do things, are different to the time when Carragher played football. And if you look at that which Carragher played, the half of people were 31, 32, and all that. The current system for the Liverpool, when you reach an age, wages will drop. Yes, Liverpool has got a structure, and they don't break it. That's why if you look, the moment they are finding it difficult to have an agreement for Salah. It's because of that wage structure. And that those Americans don't want to break that. That's why you find Liverpool is buying, they're not buying a world-class player. They buy a whereby they can see there will be development. They buy him cheap. A player who was a article already was Van Dijk. That's why Dijk is the most expensive player in Liverpool. The rest, they're including Mo Salah. With the time they were bought by Liverpool, they were not world-class players. They became world-class when they were playing for Liverpool. And in terms of wages again, Liverpool don't pay a lot. If your central defender is the highest player in your club, yeah, and that highest paid player, if you take him to Manchester City, Manchester United, just one of the other players, who paid an average wage. You understand? That's how I look at it. That's what I've noticed. There was something is mentioned in terms of Liverpool, the way they do their transfers. You have to remember, yes, I would agree in terms of he wasn't really appreciated, because when Mane was the first player Klopp bought. Yeah, but when they came to Liverpool, Mane was playing on the right. When he bought Mo Salah, Mane was changing the left. When they bought Diaz, Mane was brought front. Basically, what I'm trying is Mane can play a position in front. The disadvantage with Mane is age. And you have to remember with Liverpool, the person who leads is Milner. If you're as fit as Milner, you will get a contract.
All right.
Milner has got his contract.
I give you
no, actually, and the last thing was, well, for me, I'm just not happy with the player where he went. He should have chosen other places. There were other good places where he would have gone. Not Red Star Belgrade. That's a rich team. Honestly speaking, if South African League, you would have just gone to South Africa. It's even stronger the South African League than the league Red Star Belgrade is playing. With there.
All right, thank you very much, Percy, for that contribution. All right, that's what makes Ubuntu a special channel. Lawrence, Percy talked about a lot of things there. What do you have to say?
Yeah, there's quite a lot that Percy has brought out, but for me, I think I still feel the move that Klings has made is better for his development. I think it's very easy for even bigger clubs to notice Klings if he sticks around Europe. It's better that way. And I would want Percy to notice one thing. The moment players start coming back to Africa, those we export to Europe, the moment they start coming back to Africa, we have examples. We have examples. They will first land in Egypt or in South Africa. and it will not take 2 years before they arrive back in Zambia. And once that happens, the tendency has been that those players even fail to make it to the national team from that point in time. There are many examples of such players we can give. And for me, for the fact that he has managed to stick around Europe, it's a plus for me. It shows that he still has a future out there. And that's what we want to see. If we bring them back in Africa, the first landing place is Egypt or South Africa. That's what I've come to notice about Zambian players. We see them in Egypt or in South Africa, and within 2 years,
and Israel,
they'll be back in the Zambia Super League, and the Zambia Super League also most likely destination is Buildcon. Where they seem to love players with big names and on the decline of their careers. And anyway, that is what I've come to notice about our players. So for me, Clint Kangwa is okay from Arsenal Tula, and has gone to Serbia now. I think it's a good move for me. And I just hope that he keeps on performing there, and their club does well and makes it to European competitions, and that's what we want to see. And talking about Liverpool and age, probably it could be a good observation, but at the end of the day, there are players who will give you even the best despite the age. There are many players out there we can single out who will still continue to give you the best performances despite their age. And you cannot judge a player completely and rule them out in total just because they have turned 30. I think that strategy to me is very unusual and very worrisome. But you have players like Cristiano Ronaldo, who is 37 actually right now, and still keeps on performing at the highest levels. And you cannot rule out Mane performing at the highest level even when he is 33. I don't think that will be much of a problem. I know for African players it's very difficult because most of the times we've heard of issues of player ages being reduced. So by the time a player is 33, in actual sense is actually 40. And it becomes difficult for the player to perform. But you cannot completely rule out all players based on their turning 30. I think it's quite an unusual policy, if that policy really is at Liverpool. That's what I can say.
All right. Now, Pese and Chama, another player that has been making news in the football fraternity is a guy that has been changing his haircut like every match he's got a new haircut, and now he's changing the club from Manchester to Juventus, and I'm talking about Paul Pogba. Lawrence, what's the latest with Paul Pogba?
Okay, I think 2 weeks ago I was privileged to watch a documentary produced and being shown exclusively by Prime, Amazon Prime, and in that video, in that documentary actually, which is being called the Pogmentary, Pogba is seen with his late agent Mino Raiola, talking about transfers and offers that he had from Manchester United. Now, it's interesting to note that Manchester United offered Pogba one contract worth £300,000 a week and a second contract worth £320,000 a week, and which Pogba in his documentary called nothing. He says in his own words, they are offering me nothing and say they want me to stay. And they were laughing about it with his agent. Now, £300,000 a week, that would have made him one of the highest paid players in the English Premier League, but he declined that. And he is rumored to be in talks with Juventus. And actually, stories that we've gathered today suggest that he actually had a meeting with the bosses, Juventus bosses in Turin today, discussing the nitty-gritties of his proposed contract with them. Now, it's important to note that it's a fact that actually Juventus cannot afford that £300,000 he turned down from Manchester United, but he has chosen to go back there. The only reasonable explanation is that he wants to be in a club where he feels he is going to win something, at least. Unlike what has happened with Manchester United, where he last won a trophy in 2017. And Pogba is known to, under Jose Mourinho. And Pogba is known to be one player who loves winning, actually. And especially in this period of time where we have the World Cup coming up in December, he wants to put himself in that position where he will be a first selection for the national team, because he wants to perform at that highest level. Also, it's easy to note that and agree that Manchester United are not playing Champions League football this season, but will be playing Europa League, and Juventus have fought back. Even when they started badly in the league last season, they managed to fight back and make sure that they will have Champions League football. And that is also another factor that could have led to Pogba leaving Manchester United, going to Juventus. So we are hoping that the deal will actually be finalized before the end of this coming weekend, and we expect medicals to be done somewhere in July. So as things stand, Pogba is very much in talks with Juventus, and it looks like his destination. It's also important to note that at some point there was a talk about him joining Man City, but he turned down that proposal because of respect to Manchester United, who happen to be rivals to Manchester City rivals. So Pogba, in that instance, tried to show some respect to his former team, but at the end of the day, he's having a tough time with fans who are so much upset with him for the fact that he called that £300,000 a week contract nothing in the documentary being aired on Amazon Prime.
All right, thank you for that, Lawrence. Pacey, what do you have to say concerning Pogba?
In terms of Pogba, actually, I'll put it in, I'll just say in terms of Manchester United. When you look at Pogba, one thing you have to bear in mind is Pogba is product of Manchester United. Manchester United have lost Pogba twice on a free, 2 times. The first one, he went to Juventus. United to buy him. Is it 80 million or something million? He comes, he sits out his contract, he goes back again free. So for me, there's a bit of indiscipline, honestly speaking, because say that, okay, the problem comes in because of Man United don't have a structure. That's the main problem with Manchester United. Because even Manchester City have got structure. Have you heard of Manchester City buying a player above 6? Okay, the only 100 million player is the one they bought from Aston Villa. The rest of them is between 10 and 50 million. So they are players they buy. Because that's their structure they've got. Manchester United don't have structure. Yeah. On top of that, yes, for me, he's gone already. Yeah. But what I want to throw into the hand is to show how far Manchester United have dropped. Eric has refused to join Manchester United. He's at Bradford. And Bradford, let me in yeah, which team comes could last year? Ndiwa Brad. Think about it. So for me, it wasn't about the money offered Pogba. If Manchester United will win the league and Pogba taken that 300. Pogba would have got 300. Because at Manchester United, the scapegoat was Pogba. That's why Pogba, it doesn't matter how much money you had offered, he would have still left because he became their scapegoat. That's why they're doing well. That's what I kept on saying.
Okay,
I'll leave it there for Pogba for now.
Percy.
All right, gents, we have 30 seconds to go. We've got 30 seconds to go, so I just want your concluding remarks concerning the transfers. Lawrence, can go first.
So I think I would love to commend Arsenal for their swift transfer window so far. I think they are doing fine, and they are looking to reinforce, and it looks like a promising prospect, Arsenal once again. And as things stand, they are in talks for the signing of Gabriel Jesus from Man City. And what I'm hearing is that actually the deal has gone through, but that's just a rumor. We're yet to confirm that. And as soon as we confirm it, we shall break it out here on Ubuntu channel, of course. But as things stand, they are still in talks, which will end their long search for a striker, which has taken them to many strikers. Of course, with so much respect to Aubameyang, who did well in the Arsenal colours, but from the time he left.
30 minutes is up. Chama, you've got 30 minutes or so to wind up on the.
Let me just say he mentioned about Arsenal and Jesus. What I would say here, if, just for argument, if these teams which are playing in the Champions League come for Jesus, he will get Arsenal. But you can't blame Arsenal to go and ask for that. You can't blame them. They have to try everything. Yeah. And if a Champions League comes in, it's not going to Arsenal. And one other breaking news. PSG have offered Neymar to Barcelona as well. That's a rumor.
Can Barcelona afford Neymar as things stand?
Well, the answer I can give you is, in Spain they are funny. In Spain, because at the moment even their whole league is not profitable. Because even Real Madrid are having the similar problems to Barcelona. But when you look at Real Madrid, they wanted to purchase that French boy. He rejected the contract. I mean, he just rejected Real Madrid.
Kylian Mbappe.
Mbappe. Yeah.
Thanks,
no,
James.
I'm all right now.
We need to go. Thank you very much. This has been a special edition of Ubuntu Sports, and on behalf of Chama and Lawrence, my name is Reuben. Thank you for watching Ubuntu channel. Don't forget to share the page for Ubuntu, like it, make sure you subscribe on our YouTube channel and follow us also on Twitter. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow as we broadcast my point of view at 21 hours. From the rest of the production team, my name is Reuben. Goodbye and God bless.
Bye, people.